Doing all right. How about yourself?
How'd you meet this guy?
We did a show at Comedy Flex.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
We're famous.
Yeah, I've never. This is my first time meeting you. I've never seen you.
Yeah, that's what
I was looking through your Instagram because I'm a creep, and
A little bit.
Yeah, I'm a little bit of a creep, but I know like everybody that you hang out with. So I'm like, oh wow, that's kind of.
Yeah, I took a look at. I guess I'm a creep too because I took a look at your. And I was thinking this. I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
I was like, how have we not met?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you do a lot of stuff at the Lincoln Lodge, all right?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Right now, it kind of, it just kind of felt that way recently. I've been over there a lot. I mean, that's not a bad thing.
No,
but,
it's
that's a
not.
good
No, I
thing.
like the Lincoln Lodge. Yeah, I'm never
Being
at the
busy
Lincoln
is
Lodge,
good.
So yeah.
However you do it.
Where are you usually?
He just follows me around.
No, I mean, I'm just all over, but
Okay.
I avoid the Lincoln Lodge, I should say,
Oh.
Why do you avoid the Lincoln Lodge?
because I don't want to run into you. No,
I'm never at the Lincoln Lodge. I'm like, I've been there once for Mike's roast contest. You know Mike Glab? He did it. He's a tall, bald guy. Not that distinguishes him from.
I probably know him by face if I saw him. If he wandering through the halls
Right.
of Lincoln Lodge.
He did a roast against Femi. It was a.
you know
big deal.
Femi?
No.
You don't know Femi? He's a big roaster.
He's a big roast.
He's an African guy. He has a very heavy accent. You understand half of his material. He'd be twice as funny if his English were just a little better, because the stuff I understand is hilarious. But he has a very deadpan delivery. Anyway, welcome to
Two Marks and a Mic.
Comedy Podcast.
Comedy podcast.
I just found out that I posted the wrong file on our comedy podcast with Mo Diab. You know Mo. And no one bothered to tell me, which tells me that no one listens to this podcast. So,
Someone told me though. So
well, yeah, Mo. That doesn't count. That doesn't count. So we're going to try and change that with this interview.
Okay.
Because you're so popular, people are going to listen, right?
yes.
Let's hope so.
You're bringing the ears, and I'm going to actually pay attention to which file I'm posting. So I'm going to post the correct one.
That would be
I'm
wise.
mending my ways.
So right now we getting ready to interview Soli Santos, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah.
I like the way you pronounce that.
Yeah. Well, you know.
You're usually like Dave Ramos and stuff, and I have to correct you. You got this one right.
Right.
You're.
How long have you been doing comedy?
Maybe like 12 years.
12 years. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
That's good.
It's been a minute.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it was all full time, but
Right.
know.
And always stand up, or have you done improv?
No, I did start with improv.
A lot of people do.
Yeah, but then I found out I'm not a team player.
See, that's why I never even bothered
I
with
like
it.
that.
I
You
just
need
felt
the stage time to yourself, huh?
You're like no and.
it's like more like I just didn't. I felt like it was this constant battle of like who gets to be on stage. And there's always one or two in the group that are stage hogs.
Yeah.
And I'm not that person.
Right.
So I felt like I'm not here to compete to get on stage time. You know what I
Right,
mean? Like
right.
in that regard, like while the show's happening.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, I can't, can we yes and each other and just kind of collab here, so I didn't like that necessarily. It could have been just the people I happen to be doing
Right.
improv with, you know what I mean? But like, that was just my general experience. And I was like, I don't know if I like this.
Yeah. So stand up then is perfect because you're the star.
Yeah, for how the 10 whole minutes or
10
15
minutes,
minutes.
I'll take 10 minutes.
Right.
That's
Most
pretty good.
definitely, yeah.
And so what interested you in comedy in the first place?
I think people for years were telling me I should do stand-up, but I feel like a lot of people say that.
Yes. And a lot of people who shouldn't do stand-up are told that.
Yes, I was just going down that route,
Yeah.
basically saying that just because a lot of people say that
Right.
does not mean that they're right. But I think it was just more of an evolution from me starting with improv, and then when I realized that really wasn't my cup of tea.
Mm-hmm.
But I still wanted to be in that comedic scene.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was kind of like, well, if this isn't for me, maybe I should try that. It was more like
So
that.
why comedy? What's like? Are there comedians that you used to listen to that were influential? Or?
Comedy, I would say trauma.
Well, that's all of us.
You know,
That's the common bond.
I think that was just basically kind of my personality, and I think that's why a lot of people would tell me that I should go into it, because I remember like the first time somebody told me I was funny and actually wanted me to entertain them.
Mm-hmm.
I was probably like 12,
Mm-hmm.
and we arrived at a family function. We arrived, I think it was some baby relative's baptism party, you know? And as soon as we show up, I go to hang out with my cousins who were all the same age, you know? And one of my cousins goes, "She's here, make us laugh." And I remember standing there and I was so like taken aback by that, because I didn't expect that, you know? I was just like, I gotta go to this dumb baby shower thing, and now they want me to entertain them. And I just remember I responded, I said, "I'm not a clown." And I was like, I can't just pull it out like that.
Right.
And then I just kind of, then the party went on,
Then you started tap dancing.
I got on the table.
Yeah, you're juggling.
Yeah, but that was the first time I think somebody was like expecting me to entertain them. And then, it was just kind of other situations where, as I got older, I think just people were always like that, I was the goofball, so.
Right. So, did you have a question? You
Yeah.
look like you have a question.
No, I mean, of course, I got plenty of stuff.
Okay, well, take a turn.
Okay.
Jump in.
So, since you went right into her career, I was going to start this thing, but whatever. So, how long was you doing improv before you got to doing stand-up?
It was it was probably like 5 years,
Okay.
because
Oh, wow.
the evolution was slow.
Oh, so you're really good then.
Really good with, I wasn't doing improv that whole time.
Okay.
I was more like trying to figure out, actually I went from improv, and then I went through because I started with the Second City Improv.
I saw that.
And then I went into I wasn't really a fan of like I said with the improv, so I thought maybe it was the format. So I went to IO, and I did like the Herald format better, because it's more long form. But I still I just didn't feel like improv was for me. And then I went through the sketch program at Second City. And at the time, again, I don't know what it was with the people that I was taking these classes with, but there were a couple people in the class that were acting like they were already writers on SNL. And I was like, you're a student here.
But do you think that might be part of the deal with Second City? It has such a reputation that it's going to attract people like that.
Sure, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
It's a gateway.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I didn't even finish the sketch writing program at the time, because I was so disgusted with some of the people in my class, that I was like, this is trash. And so all this was, while I'm doing all this, I'm trying to figure out like, okay, if none of this is it, what I started looking into like a stand-up class, because I definitely wasn't the type to just get on stage, because I was like, I need to know structure, how to write a joke, right?
You don't seem like a shy person.
I wouldn't say I'm not. Yeah, I don't. I
But
wouldn't.
you just needed the structure part.
Yeah,
of the class.
yeah.
It wasn't like stage fright.
Right. I'll jump out of a perfectly good airplane before I get on stage and just try to wing it like that,
Okay.
for the very first time. You know what I mean? So I remember trying to, Google, stand-up writing classes and all this stuff. And Second City wasn't offering any of that stuff at the time. And they're not. That's not really their priority anyway, even though they offer it now. But And then the weirdest thing happened. One morning. I didn't find any stand-up writing classes at the time, which I thought was really weird. But I remember one morning I was getting ready to go to work, and I was watching WGN, and their Around the Town reporter Ana Belaval had just completed her stand-up writing class with Cameron Esposito. For the feminine comique, because Cameron was the one that started that class. And then they were having their class graduation at Zany's on Wells. And I remember I was like, that's what and it was an all-women's class. Not that I was looking for that, that wasn't necessarily what I was looking for. But I was like, oh, this is an all-women's writing class, because Cameron was trying to encourage more women comedians to get in. And so once I saw that, I actually took that class. And I took the class with Cameron. It was like a series, two classes, and it was at the original Lincoln Lodge Diner, and then funny thing, like almost a year to the day, of seeing that segment with Ana Belaval, I was performing a comedy show with Ana Belaval a year to the day.
Wow.
Almost a year to the day.
Full circle.
Yes. And then I remember telling her, they're part of the reason why I'm doing it. And then she looked really uncomfortable when I said that. I was like, I'm going to sound like a creep to her or something. But I was like, I just wanted to put that out there for her, to let her know, you took this class, you put it on TV, for news, and, you helped encourage some other
so that was your first showcase?
Yeah, that was my first showcase when I did a 5-minute set.
How did you do?
I did way better than I thought I did. I remember standing behind stage, and the Lincoln, at the diner, when there was a diner on Lincoln Avenue by Damon, the stage was like, there was glass doors, like emergency glass doors behind the stage. And I remember standing back there, and I was looking, and there was a door there, and I thought to myself, all I have to do is just open this door and just go running down Lincoln Avenue. You don't have to do this. And then I'm thinking, this door's probably locked.
Might set off an alarm.
Right.
Maybe both.
And I remember also the whole time, this was real fast thoughts, because this was in the time that Cameron was introing me. I remember thinking, I am way more scared doing this than I was any of the times I've ever jumped out of a plane. You know what I mean?
Oh, so you do jump out
Yeah,
of planes.
I have. I haven't done anything then in a few years. But I've jumped out of planes before.
When did you start doing that?
Oh my God, in my 20s, one of my coworkers was used to jump, and he had asked, there was like a group of us at a table having lunch, coworkers, and he was like, does anybody want to go skydiving? And it was all dudes and me, and I was like, everybody was like, yeah, sure, but I was the only one that followed through.
Oh, wow.
And then ended up going skydiving. And then after that, I have 3 brothers, and so whenever I do something like that, they're, no, I'm not, I gotta do it too. so then I went a few times, my brothers and we went a few times after that,
Cool.
So, yeah.
So what's that like?
It's incredible. If you're not afraid of heights, I highly recommend it. It's actually really amazing.
I saw you said something about you wrestle and do MMA too, right?
Oh, I did train in MMA a long time ago.
Okay.
Yeah, but not. I haven't done that. It's hard to do all these things.
Yes.
And then do comedy,
Yes.
and then try to, live your life and pay your bills and do all that stuff.
Right.
So I did used to do that, but I don't train in that. I don't train in that anymore. But I do miss it because it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, my daughter, she did wrestling for a while, but I don't think she's any good though. Hopefully you better.
I did a Naga tournament once.
What's that?
It's like a grappling tournament.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I did Shidokan, which is like boxing and a little bit of jiu-jitsu, kind of like a mix in
You think you could beat this guy up across from me?
I mean, do we really want to go there?
I look like I'm not that tough, but in reality...
If you know how to fight, then I mean, if you've trained in any type of boxing or anything, then you know technique
matters.
Technique
Yes.
matters.
I'm really good at running away.
That's good too. That is a
Never
technique.
catch me.
That's a good
You can't
technique.
grapple what you can't catch.
Right.
That's true.
Okay, so tell me about. I'm sure you've bombed on stage.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so tell me about the first time you bombed. Do you remember that,
I don't necessarily.
or
remember
just a specific time?
Yeah, I don't remember the
Or
first
do you have
time
a
I bombed.
philosophy of bombing?
I was gonna.
I-
that was the lead. Go ahead. Both of
So
those.
so let me start with the first time. I don't remember the first time I bombed. I do remember one of the worst bombs I've ever had. It was the very first time I was performing at Zany's Wells. And Steve Haas was still there. And it was like the Tuesday 10, so there was like 10 comedians. Everybody got like 5 minutes.
They
you know
do
what I
that
mean?
on Fridays now, but
Okay. And so and it was it was a fully packed night, and I was like the second half of the 10, and I don't know, like 3 or 4 comedians in a group of like 15 people come in through the kitchen. They get in there late and they come in through the kitchen, but it's like 15 people, so they're kind of disruptive.
yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's a lot of people to be coming in.
Late.
Together.
Yes, yeah. And then one of the women was already drunk.
Ooh.
Surprise, surprise,
Right.
right? And she was like so drunk that she was like toppling, like almost falling over. She was shit faced. And can I curse on this?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And so at one point
We prefer you curse, actually.
Oh, okay.
He likes it.
So at one point she had gotten up a couple of different times and stumbled to the back, and then finally it got to this, and she was being so disruptive that Steve was in the back, and he said something to her. I think he was trying to get her out. And then she was like, I'm gonna tell him. She started screaming at him while the show's going on. I'm gonna get my boss. So she drunkily wobbles over, tells this guy that's sitting there watching the show, and she's like, hey, he's doing that. She's still making the scene, and then she wobbles back over. She's hobbling all over the place, holding on to the walls while she goes back to get into Steve's face. Steve is completely calm, and then all of a sudden, I'm standing, where the comedians would usually stand, which is right close to the kitchen.
The kitchen
and,
bar
and
area.
yeah, and then I look back, because all of a sudden you hear no, and it's her holding onto the door frame of one of the bathrooms, and the bar area. She's gripping, and Steve's trying to pull her, and she's got like one foot up on a door frame, and this is all happening while people are.
Well, the show's
Yeah,
happening.
nobody's listening to the show at this point, obviously.
The show's
It's
over
in the
there.
back,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, she's the show now.
Correct.
She is the show.
So the guy gets up, and it's some big dude, and he gets up and he casually walks over to Steve, and then I just hear him say, do you know who I am, and this and that, and I'll have this place shut down, and blah, blah, blah.
Man.
And Steve's he's still very monotone, and he's like, we've been here for X amount of years. This isn't the first time. This stuff. So he wasn't.
Right.
He was like, yeah, whatever. And then they all ended up. And then this happened right before they introed me on stage.
Perfect.
Right.
And
Great
then
intro.
the host doesn't address it, which is
Whoops.
already a mistake.
Huge mistake. That's what
And-
the host is there for, is to deal with that. shit.
Exactly. He did not. I will not name names. He did not, but he is a successful comedian now.
He was new back then.
I don't think so. He was already a little bit seasoned.
No.
So I feel like he should have known better, but he did not do anything about it. And then he introed me at the same time this entire group got up and left. So now, not only is there a distraction,
Right.
but now I have to fight my way to the stage because
They're
physically they're all in my way.
Through the exodus.
Yes, they're all in my way because now they're going back out towards the kitchen. And so now I got to battle my way through all these people. Okay. And then, I finally make it to the stage. And again, this was my very first time at Zanies. I think I hadn't even been doing comedy for like a year. I'd never been in a situation like that before. I didn't know what to do. I tried to do my own set. I bombed, needless to say.
Right.
It was a horrible 5 minutes. And then after me was another comedian, and he addressed everything that was happening back. That was happening back there. So he acknowledged it and got kind of was able to get the comedian.
Yeah.
He got some. I think people were still kind of, it was so disruptive that I think it took a minute for people to kind of readjust and really clean up the energy in the room,
Right.
But that was definitely a learning experience. And then that freaked me out so much, I didn't reach out to Zanies for a year because I was so I'm not ready for that,
Right.
Yeah.
But and I remember talking to Steve about it afterwards, and he looked really upset, not at me, but at the whole situation.
Of course.
And he was just like, it is what it is.
Goes with the territory.
Yeah.
And so, how do you handle hecklers? Or do a bunch of comics have their own way of doing things, but what do you do with hecklers?
I play it by ear. I think there's, I guess there's different types of hecklers, which you don't really think about until you're in the midst of it on stage. I feel like
the drunk loud girl, who was at Zanies.
Yeah, her,
That's the toughest.
Yeah,
I have, knock on wood, I haven't had too many of those. I've had the people that want to participate.
Right.
Those are the most common.
That is the most common. But also not the hardest to deal with.
Yeah, not the hardest. Also, sometimes people that are going there to see me, and I'm like, why are you? I can't yell at you like a regular heckler because you came to see me, but you're fucking up my set.
Right.
There was one an older lady that I used to work with, and she had gone to Laugh Factory with her daughter. And the whole time I was on stage, she was like, Soli! Woo, 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 Soli! Like it was a music venue. And at one point, just to try to, I was like, how do I get her to shut up and be nice about it? And so I said to the audience, I go, my mom's here, guys. I'm sorry. And then everybody started laughing. And then she stayed quiet. She got the, and I go, I can't calm her down. She's just so excited. And then after the show, she was like, my daughter told me I shouldn't have been yelling, but you didn't have to say I was your mom.
It's funny how there's some people that just don't understand what's happening on the stage.
Right.
And they don't understand how, some hosts are better than others at prepping the crowd. That's one thing I appreciate at Comedyplex is they always do that. They always make it very clear, keep table talk to a minimum, no heckling.
Right.
I've been there.
Comedyplex draws a total different crowd though than Zanies.
Yeah. I hosted a show there where in the main room where there was a group of 3 women kind of drunk, and they were it wasn't a bachelorette party, but it was that vibe.
Yeah.
And they were there for themselves. And everyone else just happened to be extras in the movie of them. And so the comic who was up, they were getting loud. He made the mistake of it wasn't a mistake. He tried to draw them in to get them to be quiet. So he let them have some time talking. He asked them some questions. Oh, what are you here for? What are you celebrating? Oh, it's someone's birthday or whatever. And then he went back to his thing, but they just kept going. So it didn't work. So then he just started swearing at them. And eventually told them, you know, shut the fuck up.
You know, sometimes opening the door for them is like a vampire. You
But
never
you don't know.
invite them into
Yeah.
You don't know. Sometimes
you
it
don't
works.
know.
Sometimes it gets it out of
Yeah,
their
that's
system.
true. That's
Sometimes
true.
they're happy just to get that, or they get nervous, and then it quiets them down
Right,
because now
right.
the focus is on them,
Uh-huh.
and they're like, "Oh, I don't want this whole room staring at me."
Right.
So then I went up and I tried to clean it up and ended up saying, I don't even remember what I said, but I said something that then offended the whole audience. So
Yeah.
I didn't
That's
fix it.
that's the fine line,
It's
because
tough.
there's a fine line between keeping the audience on your side
Right.
and then
Very hard.
the audience going against you. And to be honest, that's why I don't personally do roasts, because I know I'll just go.
Yeah.
And then
I'm the same way. That's
people are
crazy you
gonna
said that.
they're gonna be like, oh, I don't know if she's playing, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna be like, look, you said a roast,
Right,
I'm
exactly.
gonna rip you apart.
I'm the same way.
So
like
I always stay away from the roast because I feel like I might be a little too aggressive with the
Yeah.
roasting.
Maybe that's just the Puerto Rican in you.
I think that, and growing up with just boys,
Yeah.
that really does.
Yeah.
You know, there was constant roasting in my house. So,
Yeah, mine too.
and then in grade school, I don't know why, but in grade school, my friends and I, like in 7th and 8th grade, we used to have these roast battles during lunch break, where like two of us would just like insult each other
Rip
while the
each
rest
other
of
apart.
the and we would do it out of fun, but we were and I was really good at it. So whenever I was up against somebody, they'd be like, "Oh no! All right, this is it," you know. And I'm like, "I'm dead inside. Let's do this," you know.
You should do a roast battle then.
No, not if you gonna make your
Audience-
opponent cry.
Or I feel almost like like the audience will turn against
Yeah.
me. That's more of what I'm concerned about. It was where they'll be like, "Oh, that went a little too far," you know, like that's more what I'm concerned about, because I'll just be like, I'll take the gloves off. I'll be like, all right, let's do this. Well, let's do this. I'm from the hard streets of Wrigleyville. Let's do this.
It's a tricky thing because every crowd's different.
Yes.
And there's a random factor that you don't know for sure. Like you get a sense of the crowd as a whole, but you don't know for sure how they're going to react to anything.
Right.
So you're always feeling them out. And as you're doing your material, you might change a word to something less dirty, or you might do this, you might tweak a little bit based on the response you're getting. But this was a situation where everyone was already riled up because of the comic who had, sworn at them. So I felt like I can't clean that up now. Like if he hadn't sworn at them, it would have been easier. But they were already, everyone was on edge, and these three were like, I don't know why they didn't just get up and leave at that point, to tell you the truth, because they were getting a lot of negative attention. But it's not easy. And people don't understand how difficult just doing stand-up is.
Yeah.
Let alone all of this stuff.
Right. Right.
So also, I just gathered from talking to you that you are you rely on your material. You don't really go off script a lot, right?
No, I don't. I'm not. I don't
crowd
do too
work.
much crowd work.
Yeah.
No, that's not really my vibe. I
No, me
probably
either. I'm the
should
same
practice. Sometimes I feel like I need to just to have the skill set,
Yeah, I'm horrible at those things.
But I have gotten better with like. Sometimes there's things that happen in the audience that you just have to address, even if it's like just an accident, like something silly happens, you know what I mean?
Someone spills their drink.
Yeah, something like that. Sometimes you just or somebody's phone keeps going off, or something weird where you just kind of gotta address it,
Yeah.
And then there's like a fine balance. Like I have. One time I did a show at the now that I think about it, I'm like, oh, this is happening at the Laugh Factory a lot. The Laugh Factory, one time I had there was a table of women, and there were a couple of them that just kept hitting on me while I was on stage. And I was like, they kept saying funny stuff, but they were like flirting with me. Mm-hmm. And there was one that wouldn't shut up, and I just said to her, I said something like, I feel like you're supportive in a way that I don't want you to be supportive anymore. And the audience busted out laughing. I was like, please stop, you know? And I was like, and I'm straight. I hate to break it to you guys, you know? It's all over, you know? So, but, you know, that's that fine line where it's like, this person isn't being mean,
Right.
but you are still being disruptive and you are kind of messing up what's happening. I had another show. It was a private show, and it was a fundraiser, and there was a woman in the audience that kept like trying to jump my jokes, like to predict my punchline.
That's really bad.
That's the worst. Yeah.
And I finally said to her, like in a playful way, I was like, I think you want to do comedy, but tonight's not, you're not on the lineup. And everybody started laughing when I was like, you're not on the lineup. You know, take a chill pill. And then if you want to get booked later, we'll talk after the show, you know? And then she calmed down. But, you know, there's that, I think that nice fine line where you kind of like, how do you shut people up in a nice way where the audience is still on your side?
Right.
Yeah.
And especially to people who, like you were saying, don't necessarily know how comedy shows work.
Right.
They might be their very first comedy show.
Right.
And so they think that that's what you're supposed to do at a comedy show. I think also, you know, like social media kind of puts that out there because
Absolutely.
people who put their crowd working clips out there. And so people think, oh, we're supposed to engage with the comedian. It's like, no, only if the comedian invites you to do so. If not, shut the fuck up.
Right. There's all the comedian destroys heckler clips.
Yeah.
And half of which I think are fake anyway. But a lot of them seem set up because then the comedian has some genius line and it's like, you didn't think of that in that moment. But it does create this impression like, oh, it's this raucous thing and everyone's participating. And it's like, no, it's absolutely 100% not
opposite.
that.
Yes,
It's
the
one
opposite.
person, like the whole beauty of it. And this is to get back to you going from improv to stand-up. The whole beauty of it from the performer's perspective is it's just you. And you live and die by your own wits. And you're funny or you're not. And you figure out the audience or you don't. You win them over or you don't. It's just like you've walked into a bar and you see someone you like and you're going to pick them up. And it's going to work or it's not.
Right.
It's 100% on you. And so all the glory and all the pain. So there's something super appealing to that. So then if someone starts messing with that, and it's like whether they think they're helping you, whether they're just drunk, it's like, no. This is my 3 minutes, my 5 minutes, my 10 minutes, whatever it is. This is 100% about me. Because how often in life is it?
Right.
So, and you work very hard for that 3, 5, 10 minutes, and they don't understand that
you
either.
do. So you grew up in Wrigleyville?
Yeah, I did actually.
Okay.
I did.
All right. That's interesting. With 3 brothers?
Yeah.
Okay. So what was it like growing up Puerto Rican in Wrigleyville?
It was Puerto Rican.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah. It was, a lot of people don't realize that. 60s, 70s, like 80s, it was predominantly Latino, predominantly Puerto Rican, because it was still part of Lakeview.
Okay.
And then the gentrification, the rebranding of the neighborhood to be Wrigleyville wasn't really until the 80s.
Right.
And then you seem to remember what I'm talking about. You're not.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and so.
Yeah, I used to go to that area all the time.
Yeah, and so it was very blue
He's
collar.
probably rebranded.
Yeah.
I was Puerto Rican, and then I got rebranded as a little old Jewish man. It was like, I didn't ask for this. I was happy the way. This is what you get.
Do you know Brandon Kiefer? You know Brandon Kiefer.
Yeah.
So Brandon Kiefer has a joke where he says, the Puerto Rican Day Parade is coming up. He says, no one loves being Puerto Rican like a Puerto Rican. It's so funny because it's the truth. Puerto Ricans rep Puerto Rican so hard, man.
Yes.
I love that shit.
Do you know why that is, though?
No, I don't.
Because
I think it's because it's so fun being Puerto Ricans. All the Puerto Ricans I know look like they have a ball. Always having a ball.
But also the reason why, because I know the stereotype of like Puerto Ricans always repping the flag, and the reason was that there was a point in the early 40s where it was illegal to display the Puerto Rican flag in public.
Oh.
It was called the gag law, and it was about 9 or 10 years, and you could go to jail for up to 10 years for displaying.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And then there was an independence movement, too.
Yeah, and that was why, because the U.S. government connected that particular flag to the independence movement,
Right.
and it was an effort to repress the independence movement of
Wow.
Puerto Rico. So when they, when that law was removed, then that was when Puerto Ricans were like, well, now we're going to be,
Now
because
we're
people
going hard
died.
independent.
People died for that flag. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't know
So that's why people.
Okay.
Most people don't know that, and I would even
I didn't
say
know that.
I would even say a lot of Puerto Ricans don't know, especially younger Puerto Ricans don't know that. But that is where that came from.
Okay.
When's the last time you were on the island?
January.
Okay.
Yeah, I try to go every year.
It's changed a lot.
Yeah, it's immensely. Yes, when I would go there as a kid, I felt like I was in a foreign country. Like
Wow.
now, now it's very much. It's the gentrification over there that's happening right now is
I haven't
real.
been yet. I gotta get. I've been to the Virgin Islands, and I almost, because I guess you could take like a helicopter ride over, and I almost went, but I didn't.
Epstein's Island is in the Virgin Islands.
Is it?
Which shows that he may have been a serial rapist, but he also had a finely tuned sense of irony. Sorry.
Is that one of your jokes?
Yes.
He can't help it.
I can't help myself.
He cannot help
You set it
himself.
up so nicely. Sorry. And it never gets a laugh. As soon as you say
Because people got to think about it.
No, I
Or
think
because it's
people
still
have to
too
think about
fresh.
it, and it's too
fresh.
like
It's too fresh.
edgy for the Oak Park audience. I think it's like, oh, you're making fun of because it's
Yeah.
like you can't say rape. I think.
How'd you come up with closet confessions? I love that.
Oh, the closet
I love that. That's
The closet confession.
And anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about, go to her Instagram right now. What's your Instagram?
It is at Soli, SOLI, at Soli Comedy.
At Soli Comedy. Go and watch the closet. And there's how many of them at this point?
Oh, I
A
don't
billion.
know. There's a bunch now.
And they all good. I like
They're all
Oh,
good.
thanks.
Yeah,
Cool.
nice.
And
That's
sometimes
good.
it's just you, and sometimes it's
Sometimes
you with other
yeah.
comics.
With a guest, yeah, and that's
Is
always
it
fun.
really your closet?
Yes, it is my closet.
It's very
And one thing
organized.
I noticed, did you notice she does a different spot in the clothes? There's always different clothes.
I do.
It's not the same
It's not the same clothes. It's
I
not.
noticed that.
I do. I switch it
I
around
see.
because I know one thing I've noticed about social media is that
People notice
people
everything.
notice
Yes.
everything.
Yep.
They notice everything. Things that like I'll be watching a video and then I'll read the comments and somebody will be like, that person in the background. I'm like, I didn't notice a person in the background.
Right.
And then I'll look, oh my God, I didn't. If I didn't read that comment, I wouldn't know. So I know I've read enough of those type of comments, on
right.
different various clips. So I was like, people pay attention to this stuff, So I do switch up the clothes sometimes,
Yeah.
That's
That was
funny.
cool. I like that.
So
Yeah.
how'd you come up with the idea? What?
I'm not, it's weird. I don't know. I think that part of it derived from my Catholic upbringing and going to confessional.
It does
you
have
know?
that feeling.
It does. Okay.
You know,
Say, yeah.
And so that closet
That's
was
the confessional booth.
Yeah, that's the
I can't
confessional
believe I
booth.
didn't even put that together.
And it's
because
very small.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There
and
is.
it's enclosed like
Right.
that.
Yes. Yeah. And so there is one closet confession I did last summer with a comedian from LA. And we kind of do her closet confessions almost like a confessional, where I took one of my shirts and I put it in between us.
Hilarious.
And then I wore a black top and I put like a little white little square to make it look almost like a priest collar. And then she stayed like this with her hands together like she was praying. And she was looking at the camera the whole time she gave her confession because
That
we
is
wanted to
funny.
play with that.
Bless
for a
me,
little
Soli,
funny.
for I have sinned.
yeah, basically. Yeah. So, I mean, it just derived from there. I was trying to think of, like, some type of, like, content for social media that was, I think, a little bit different and kind
It is
of
different
silly.
and it's original. I like it.
Thank you.
I'm always trying to, because I'm not active at all on social media. I'm like, I wish I could came up with something like that. That's such a good idea.
It's hard to keep coming up with confessions, though. I'm
but
like,
still, just the concept though.
yeah.
You know,
that's why I
it's just a quick.
And it's easy to shoot because
yeah,
you've
it's
already
easy.
got it.
Yes,
set
it's
up.
easy.
All
I
that.
just gotta, whoever's I asked to come to shoot, the comedians that have done it have all been kind enough to go out of their way to come to my place to shoot that. But it's actually, once they're there, like I always tell them, it's super easy to shoot. Like it's like everything's set up in there,
Right.
And we can shoot out like 2 or 3 different ones in less than 30 minutes, and just be like bam, 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 and then I can, I'll post. Sometimes I'm like, sometimes some people will give me confessions where I'm like,
I can't post that.
I mean, are you sure you're okay? There was one person that I was like, I'm not going to do that. I feel like it's in your best interest that I did not post that.
That's
and there
good that
has,
you take care of people.
yeah, I mean, because my thought is, it's just for fun.
Right.
I'm not here to try to ruin people's lives,
Right.
or get subpoenaed for anything, It's supposed to be fun, and
right.
so I have had a couple comedians say, that's why I ask them to come with like 2 or 3 different confessions, and then because sometimes they'll come with, like one of them they might be like, hey, could you not post? And I'm like, done. You tell me you don't want that posted, I'm not going to post it. Because again, this is just for fun. I'm not trying to.
I wish you could have got O.J. Simpson in there.
We need his
See what
confession.
confessions he had.
Yeah, it would be very interesting. I killed the bitch.
Listen, just to get celebrities in the closet would be like a dream come true. Like, but it is funny to see, like, right before, because as you guys have seen, is like, I open the clothes, I push the clothes back like it's a curtain.
Right.
So like 2 seconds before that, whenever I have a guest, it's so hilarious that I'm like, I have my adult friends are hiding behind my clothes.
Right.
Yeah. It's so weird.
Well, it does seem like a game that kids would play. Like,
Yes.
Let's play confession in the closet.
Yes.
And that's part of the fun of it. It has that make-believe feel to it. So that just adds another layer. It's a great concept. Have you gotten anything out of that? Does anyone see that and say, "Oh, you're hilarious, I want to book you," or?
I don't know if anybody has booked me based on the closet confessions.
Or your Instagram?
I have had viewers see it and be like, "Oh my God, I love that.
Right.
I love it. It's so great. I love when so, it's kind of, it's very validating. It was like, oh, I'm not just posting to this ether of darkness. Like,
I know that's the hardest thing about posting on social
10
media.
people saw it, you know what I mean? Like, or whatever, but it is kind of, like I said, validating when some people acknowledge that they've seen it and that they like it and they enjoy it. And then sometimes people give me like feedback on like, oh, you should get, somebody, blah, blah, blah. I think it's also interesting from my perspective on some of the things that some of my comedian friends have confessed that I'm like, oh my God, I didn't know that about you. And so I do feel like, oh, this is such a cool way to get to know my comedian friends, and to get a perspective from just, certain things that happened in their lives, and how they, dealt with whatever situation that they're talking about. So,
do you think social media in general is helpful in getting booked? Because that's what everyone says. They're like, oh, you got to have your social media presence. But it seems, at least in the Chicago area, it seems like it's much more relationships, like real relationships.
I feel like relationships are more.
I
I would
was
agree
the
with
same
that. I also think it also depends on how many followers you have.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because I think I do know some comedians here in the city that they have, like 10, 15,000 followers, and they get booked because of that, they can feel people that see them
Right.
come are willing to go to their shows, you know. So I think that's how it helps them. But I think in general, you know, the relationships matter for sure. You know.
I mean, in a way, it is a relationship. I mean, if you've got 15,000
Yeah,
followers,
yeah.
that's a relationship
Yeah,
too.
absolutely.
But it really is about getting butts and seats at the end of the day.
Yes, exactly.
But I think there's other variables. I mean, not everyone on a showcase has to be the one that's pulling in the crowd.
Right.
So you know, you might be there because you're easy to work with, you're funny, the club owner likes you, whatever. It can be a lot of variables, but it does seem like in Chicago anyway. Do you get booked outside Chicago?
Yeah.
Where do you go?
Well, I just did. Saturday I was in East Chicago, Indiana. Friday I was in Rockford.
I've heard Indiana crowds are actually pretty good.
Yeah, Friday I was in Rockford. I mean, I feel like it depends on, you know, where, just like any other show, you know, the
Where it
demographic
is,
and stuff. I mean,
Promoter, all
yeah,
that.
all that. You know, you have to, you know, take that into consideration. But I don't feel like the crowds are much different than the suburban crowds.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, I would agree. So here's a fun question: if you had to describe your comedic style as an animal, what animal would it be?
I want to hear what animal you would be first.
That is hilarious.
Well, I'm not being.
I know, but it's an unfair question unless you go first. Plus, I just want to hear what you're going to say.
I never thought about this for myself. Let me guess.
See,
let me think
so
for a
you're
second.
willing to put her on the spot. But
Well,
Have you asked this question to other comedians
No.
before? Oh, okay.
What animal would you be?
I think I would be a cat. I think I'm just generally a cat.
I think you would be a sloth.
Well, that's why I say a cat, because I'm pretty lazy and I like to take naps. And if you piss me off, I will claw you.
Okay.
It's not so much my comedic style, it's just me.
I think I would be one of those like dirty dogs that like roam the streets, but everyone, but everyone loves that dog, but he's like a dirty dog.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
you are a dirty
Like in the neighborhood.
He
Like,
said you are a dirty dog. That's what he said.
Exactly what you are.
I think that's what I would be.
Which, by the way, I like to remind every episode of the podcast, I like to remind all the ladies out there that are listening, Mark is available.
I am available.
He has
and
a
I am
job.
single. I
He
have
has a pension.
I have a pension.
He has a
Teeth.
pension.
Yep.
Maybe we'll talk afterwards.
He's a catch. He's a catch. I advertise him on every.
You said pension. I was like, all right.
I'm not a good pension.
Every podcast has a sponsor. This is the sponsorship right here. I'm trying to sell someone this incredible bargain.
You ever
of a
tried to
man.
sell somebody a lemon of a car? This is a.
No, you're the opposite of that. You're a catch. You're a catch.
I love that he's trying to hook you
Yeah.
up.
Checks all the boxes.
This isn't a podcast. It's a It's a
Right.
dating site for
Right.
It
you.
could be.
Yeah.
Think how good I'm gonna feel.
There you
Hidden
go.
as a podcast. That's
needs-
genius.
I scroll the internet. I say, "Oh, she's hot. Let's interview her." Get her.
It's just everyone
That's
listening.
genius.
It's a whole audience
Like-
of potential dates.
That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
That's better because people complain about the apps and everything.
Oh,
This is-
dating apps
This
are
is much
horrible.
better. People
Yes.
can come on, and if anyone else needs dating help, just come on the podcast.
Yes. Talk to two Marks.
But not if you're in the same, if you resemble Mark, you can't compete with him. It's
Yes.
got to be someone completely different.
Yes.
Maybe not even a guy. It would just have to be a woman who wants to date. Because I don't want any competition. Mark is my priority right
Yes.
now. I'm like his dating agent.
Nice.
Yes.
You said
It's
that's
gonna
a
happen.
dating agent.
He's
That's
actually.
so sweet.
And then I get 10%. Which is, at my age, is all I can handle. So,
Yep. There you
That's
go.
great.
all right, I'm sorry. What comedic animal?
I just said I'm the dog of the streets.
Yeah, you're the
He's
dirty
cat.
dog, we know.
I feel like it depends on my personality that day. Like
Oh.
I feel like I could be like when I'm goofy, I could be like Donkey, or I could be like when I think of animals, I'm thinking of more like Pixar cartoon
Right.
animals,
Right.
or even like Finding Nemo. It might even like it just depends on my mood.
Okay.
You know, I could be just like those are the two that I would say.
Contain multitudes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
There you go. See?
Did you have a nickname as a child growing up?
Oh no!
I did.
She had brothers, so
Yeah,
it's
I
probably
did,
pretty bad.
but no, it wasn't bad, and it wasn't from my brothers.
Because you fight boys, right?
Not anymore.
Okay, not anymore. 'Cause
I
you
mean-
giving that up.
She'll fight anyone now.
I'll put anybody in a headlock. Sleeper holds. I'm not gender specific. No, the kids in the neighborhood would call me Flower, and my mother did not. This was like
The flower child.
she said that it's when I was like 2 years old, the kids in the neighborhood started calling me that. And she doesn't know where they got that from, but it hung out for years, and so I don't remember telling them that, but that's what the kids would call me. They would call me Flower.
That's nice.
That's cool, yeah, it's a nice nickname. I was the weed man.
Oh,
Yeah.
a different plant.
Yeah, they call him
A different-
Dandelion. Because he just pops up where you don't want him.
Right.
Okay.
So let's do our famous question is punching up or...
Oh yeah, punch up, punch down.
Yes.
So we're obsessed with the concept. I'm sure anyone who's actually listened, fortunately no one listens to this, but
Yes.
anyone who actually does ever in history listen to all of these is going to be sick of this question. But we are obsessed with punching up and punching down in terms of, is it okay to punch down? Can you make fun of, in your comedy, can you make fun of minorities or homeless people or whatever, or should you only be
Humpbacks.
punching up?
I wouldn't.
Definitely hunchbacks.
I personally don't like to punch down, but I can.
Right.
I think this is part of what I was saying about the roasting, But I feel like there's such a fine line. I wouldn't say people shouldn't punch down. I think it depends on the situation, and it always depends on the joke. Is it a really well written joke?
Yeah, that matters. You're right. That matters.
If it's a well written joke, then maybe you might be able to slide with it.
Right.
So I think that's really more of the determining factor.
Yeah,
You know.
I agree with that. Do you so what is your comedy like based? Do you do a lot of do you talk about your family and stuff or?
Yeah, I try to talk about I talk about my family and just kind of like just me in general, my perspective on things, kind of growing up in a house with just boys and how that has affected me as a straight woman, and picking up some bad habits, hanging out with boys a little too much, So so I usually make fun of myself in that regard.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So a little self-deprecating.
Yeah.
Okay.
And autobiographical.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool.
I was going to say, women in comedy. I mean, you're kind of an outlier as far as women go because you just seem like a really tough person, or at least you have a tough exterior. Inside, I don't know what's going on, but you project.
Neither do I.
Yeah, but you project, and you're in shape. You're tough, and you did all this fighting and everything. So I feel like maybe you get less hassling than a lot of other women in comedy do. Maybe I'm wrong.
Less hassling from who? From the
guys,
audience
from
or from
creepy
guys?
guys?
From creepy guys, I would say, yeah, I probably do get less because I know I don't seem like a pushover. So also I feel like I'm also old enough that they're like, oh well, creepy guys tend to go for the younger women because they're easier to manipulate, you know. So and I've passed that age range, so that makes it a little bit easier in that regard as well.
You don't look like prey.
Yeah.
What was your what was your first open mic experience like? Were you like worried about?
My first open mic experience was at Kohl's.
Okay.
It was at Kohl's, and that was at the time when I was taking the feminine comique class with Cameron, and Cameron was hosting the open mic. So she used to save spots for her students,
Right.
so that to kind of
Yeah,
encourage
yeah.
us, to kind of encourage us to start going to open mics. So that was still very nerve-wracking, but there was still at least a support system of sorts, even if it was psychological, knowing that there were some other students in the crowd, that Cameron was the host. So, and it was, they were all terrible jokes because I was new and I didn't know what I was doing.
And so growing up with boys, you probably don't get upset over like raunchy material and stuff, like if you see somebody humping a stool or something.
I mean,
not that we're gonna name names.
I'm not.
Yeah, we're not definitely. not naming names,
Again, I think it depends on what's the quality of the joke.
Right.
Is it a well-written joke, or are you just humping the stool to just think that is the funny part of it? Because then I'm like,
it sounds like that's more just an exasperation with weak comedy.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Not like you're offended.
Exactly.
You're offended by how lame it is.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm offended at I'm like the cheap shots about it as opposed to anything else. Yeah.
Because it is an art form and people should take it seriously.
Mm-hmm.
And people are at different stages, but you see people who are just doing the same crap over and over. It's like you're not doing it.
Right. It's the same with like the pee pee poo poo caca jokes.
Right.
If you're gonna make a shit joke, just
I never
make sure
heard
it's
that
good.
term before.
The pee pee poo poo caca jokes.
That's Puerto Rican. She's speaking Puerto Rican. You gotta learn some Puerto Rican.
Yeah, I'm learning.
That's me. That's me having worked with kids in the past, and you gotta go poo poo. Let's go.
Pee-pee-poo-poo caca.
Pee pee poo poo caca jokes.
All right, have you run out of steam?
No, actually,
you
I was
got
going to
more.
say, one more thing.
Okay.
So with you probably feel the same way with like N-word and those types of jokes too, then, right? Like race jokes in general.
What
That
am
it's
I
gotta
offended?
be funny enough.
Yeah. Well, I think also too, like especially with the N word, it's like who's saying it first, and then again the quality of the joke, But like I feel like for me, I am Puerto Rican, but I'm not Afro Latina, so for me, when that happens, I'm like, this might be out of my designated area of like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I feel like that's more of from the African American experience. That's your fight. You know what I'm saying?
I know
Like,
what you mean.
and so I respect that. It's like. Like I do, there are times when like other people might be offended for the black community.
Right.
And that can be possible, but I'm also not going to overstep my boundaries.
I don't get offended for anybody.
You know what I'm saying?
I know what you mean, yeah. This guy, he gets offended for people.
Yeah.
No, I'm offensive. Offended.
That makes sense. Okay.
I don't even do it on purpose.
All right.
I just show up. I don't even start talking yet, and they're just like, "Oh,
noted."
What's that?
So you got a show with Dave Ramos coming up, right?
Yes, I
At the
believe so.
Lincoln
The
Line.
amazing Dave Ramos.
Yes, that one's in Spanish. If I that one's.
I want to cover that show, but I don't.
And how good is your Spanish? I know it's a weird question.
No, it's not a weird question. Because I feel like that's a legitimate question. My Spanish is it's so.
Because it's gotta be hard doing comedy in
Yes, so I haven't
different
done
language.
I haven't done comedy in Spanish in several years because I tried it before and I failed miserably, and so
why is that? Because is it just the words don't really match up?
yeah.
Okay.
So just like you can't just translate your jokes, right? Because it doesn't flow the same. So just like in English, there's a certain rhythm and pacing for comedy in English. So it's the same thing in Spanish, but because you're speaking in a different language, it's a different rhythm. So now you gotta fall into the different rhythm. So like for example, that's why I feel one of the reasons why things don't translate well is because if you've got a rhythm in English, syllables matter, right? So if you're
And
gonna
words matter.
correct, and so if you just translate. The words translated don't have necessarily the same amount of syllables, so the pacing is going to be different now. So if you just kind of translate and think it's it's not, because now you got already a different rhythm in that, and that rhythm might not be,
Right.
it might be off, and that alone can screw
it
you
can
up.
mess up the whole. I know
Yeah,
exactly what
you
mean
know.
there.
So that's so that was the mistake I think I made the first time I tried to do Spanish material, was like realizing that it's like, oh no, and then, you know, just like any language, there's nuances, there's slang, there's cultural references that don't necessarily translate into another language because it's a whole other culture or what have you, you know.
Right.
And so you got to take all of that into consideration and then still write a joke that's funny, you know.
Yeah, that
So,
does seem tough, actually.
yeah, so it's, and then, you
I
know,
never thought about that.
I think Evie's done that too, right?
yeah, Evie and I are starting, have just started kind of doing that. She just did her first, I think, Spanish speaking.
Are you doing the
recently.
one that? Are you doing a Puerto Rican Day Parade show at the Comedy Club?
Yeah, so that was my idea, the No Sabo show, and so
Okay.
that was coming off of the fact that Evie and I were talking about, like, the fact that we were trying to do these Spanish speaking shows, and No Sabo is a reference to Latinos that don't know how to speak Spanish. That's what No Sabo means.
Oh, okay.
So, but No Sabo is the incorrect way of saying that.
So it's a joke in
so
itself.
it's a joke in itself.
Oh, wow,
Yeah.
that's
So the correct, because that technically No Sabo means I don't know, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you say it correctly, it's not No Sabo, it's No sé, right?
No sé.
And so there's this whole thing, like, whenever in Spanish, when you talk in reference to yourself, most of the words end in O, but that no sé doesn't end in O.
Oh, okay.
So somebody who's trying to learn how to speak it, especially kids, they're going to go with the pattern that they're already, you know, all these other words end in O.
So it'd be No Sabo.
Right. So
That's
that's
fine.
that's where that comes from.
So
that's like-
that will be in English.
so yeah, so but what we did was everybody on the lineup is a No Sabo.
Oh.
So everybody on the lineup is either
Because I saw Matt.
Matt Torres,
But
yeah.
I just assumed maybe he speaks Spanish. I thought it was a Spanish show. Okay.
Actually, his closet confession was that he
doesn't
doesn't.
speak Spanish.
That when people try to speak to him in Spanish, he pretends like he understands, but he doesn't. That was his confession.
Oh,
his
wow.
closet confession. Yeah.
I have to go back and look at that one. I didn't see him.
Because that one's one of the first ones. That one's from like almost like a year. It was about a year ago that he did that one. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, he was the one that gave me the idea to interview people for the Closet Confessions.
really?
Yeah,
Okay.
he was the one, and so I was like, okay, that's a great idea. You're gonna be my first guest. And
He just volunteered.
yeah,
Right.
and so he came out and hid behind my clothes, and I was like, I have a grown man
Yeah.
In my closet.
hiding behind my clothes.
That's kind of a dream come true.
I don't know. That
Just
sounds
keep him in
very
there,
creepy.
and when you need him.
Not a married man, he's married, and so that was, you know,
Oh.
thank God I know his wife, and she's cool with me, so, you know, I don't want any problems.
All right.
All right. Well, that was it for me.
You're good?
Yeah. I'm
You've
good.
run out of steam?
I'm out of steam.
You got your money's worth?
Yes.
Okay, me too.
All right, well, thanks for having me.
Thank
This
you
was a lot
so
of fun.
much.
Good job,
Thank you
yeah,
so
I had
much.
fun.
For doing this. We
No, I appreciate it.
I gotta come check you out at the Lincoln Lodge sometime.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and she's at Plex sometimes.
Yeah, but I'm never at any of those places.
Well, maybe
Where
you
do
should
you
start.
perform then? Where are you?
I mean, I've done shows there, but I don't just hang out at those spaces.
Oh, I don't hang out at the
Yeah,
spaces
okay.
either. I,
mean,
just
but
go
you
to
do
the
a lot of
shows.
shows in those
Yeah.
spaces. Yeah, well, I don't do a lot of shows in those spaces.
Okay.
We have our own mic, which is tonight.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I do. I mean,
Where's your mic at again?
I'm still in the bar.
Um,
I'm still in the bar show.
It's at Forest
Okay.
Park. In Forest
Oh,
Park,
okay.
at the Busy Bee, which is a Mexican restaurant.
Oh, nice.
And then Mondays we usually go to Beacon, although I didn't go this week.
Okay, cool.
But the Beacon's a lot of fun. Have you been to Beacon?
I think so.
It's Paris Ratliff and Conflict run it, and it's
That's a mic?
yeah.